Hi, and welcome to the parting gift. This is the director's interview. With me, Tom Royston. I was director of Parting Gift. There's quite a lot in terms of the film that I wanted to talk about. Really, first of all, we've got the three main aspects of the film, which we've got the film trailer, the magazine cover, and the film poster. That makes up our package for the film. As you can clearly see, just from looking at the film poster, from the film itself, you can see that the Parting Gift is a romance film, and the film itself is entirely revolving around this relationship between that's broken by the death of one of the sisters, but also then like a reunification in terms of she's leaving a life behind for her. Then she moves on with her life. She meets this a young lad, and but the sister's love is never broken, which is actually one of the taglines for the film, which is quite good, I think, in way that you have these sort of like simultaneous taglines going on at the same time. The relationship between the two sisters is immediately established from the very opening shot of the film trailer itself. The very first shot is actually the two sisters together in an over shoulder shot, so you immediately see those are the two characters that the film's going to revolve around initially. Then with the opening 30 seconds of the film, it's just about the two sisters, and initially I wanted to make it quite impacting in a way that the death should be sad, but then they should be remembering the happy memories from before, which obviously is key in terms of the film itself, as it is a happy film as well as a sad romance chick flick, all these kind of things involved. It's quite a tragic film initially, but I would, if we were to create the entire film following the plot synopsis, you do see that feel-good aspect which you'll see in so many romance films, which is so key. It is a story of romance, and also a story of sisterhood in a way. The way that the sisters' bond is never broken altogether, and it's just quite an important way to establish the storyline, to have this initial relationship formed. So that was the main basis of the film, was this relationship, and then the sisters' relationship then is almost concentrated into one of the sisters, and that's moved then on to the rest of the life for the one of the sisters that lives on and outlives the other, and she pursues her dream, which isn't entirely relevant. It's not blatant in the trailer that this dream of a photography isn't obvious. The viewer doesn't know this. So I think that's something we would need to address if we were to remake the film. You don't know that the sister really wanted to be a photographer, so maybe that could be an aspect that I would address myself if I was to remake this film. After she's been accepted into the photography business, you immediately see her go into this place, and God forbid that she might drop her folders only to see someone come and help her pick them up. And then you immediately see, we wanted to address this connection between the two characters, which is what we immediately tried to do from the offset, is have these relationships formed for you. We used the hand on top of the hand kind of thing, like the eye contact, all these kind of things that you would initially just almost as like an audience expectation to see this happen. So it's the long eye contact, the cheeky smiles, the stuttering in the voice, the shyness, the nervousness, all these kind of things that you would expect to see in almost like the first relationship, first meeting, first kiss, all these kinds of things that would make the person naturally nervous. Following the storyline, you then would see that they have to work together, and then it's as part of the synopsis, you would then expect this relationship then to develop further and further to a certain extent where there would be some sort of disequilibrium and the male character then move away. But the romance scenes, I thought initially, were particularly striking. I thought they were successful. I thought that the shots actually were composed quite well in terms of the way that they were always together. It's quite a subtlety about the film, but a bit of being a director's interview and all. Something that was in my mind as I was filming this for the trailer was that I wanted each shot that contained that would involve the two characters would be shot as a two-shot or an over-the-shoulder shot, something that you would see an aspect of each of the characters in every single shot where the two were involved. For example, you've got the meeting where we have the boss speaking to the model and the photographer. You see that the two are actually together, and you see it from the over-the-shoulder shot from the boss, and they are together. So I think that's something that was on my mind constantly in order to establish this togetherness, this relationship, such a strong relationship, in a way that it's unbreakable, almost making a link back to the sisters' love again from the initial relationship. In terms of the actors and the actress in the film, I think it was good in such a way that the friendship made from before we went into the film was quite strong. Therefore, working into the film, you would expect them to have a good relationship. For example, if you was to look at such films as Notting Hill, Four Weddings and a Funeral, all these kind of films, Love Actually, they all have very similar actors and actresses in such a way that Hugh Grant may have a link with Julia Roberts. All these kinds of actors and actresses all have certain distinguishable relationships that you would immediately associate them with. That's almost what I tried to make here, is have a pre-made bond between two friends that could then be portrayed as more than just a friendship, because you have that, there's less nervousness, there's less anxiety, and I think it did work especially well in such a way that the film poster and the magazine cover and the trailer itself reflected the romantic nature. Initially, the rough cut, there was an air of awkwardness around the relationship, which is one thing that I really did not want to portray. But awkwardness is not something that I wished would be relevant in the film. It's not something that I wished to be present in the film. So I wanted it to be some sort of connection, an instant connection, but almost still have that the shyness, the nervousness, that kind of cuteness, and that makes it quite that makes people quite envious of the relationship naturally. But then, taking the film poster and the magazine cover into consideration, you will then see the relationship is instantly transferable onto the magazine cover and the film poster. Particularly the film poster, you have the two interacting in terms of looking at the poster from Dirty Dancing, looking at clips from Dirty Dancing. It's a iconic romance film. The way that the two interact, the longing looks, the relationship of the two is pivotal to the entire film, which I wanted to really show in this film poster. The Dirty Dancing hold, like the arms wrapped around, that was key. It's an iconic interaction between the characters, which is really, really important to this film. The colours are particularly almost unique to a romance film, because lots of reds will be used, lots of whites will be used, in terms of you've got the contrast from the red to the white, which is almost like purity, all this kind of thing. But I want to use like a pinky peach colour initially. However, that clashed with the white a little bit too much, so I wanted to use something that's a bit more contrasting. So I used like a dark pink, almost like a gradient tool, into a white, which then almost shows the darkest side of the pink is the bad, and then the light white is then like the transfer into like a better place, like the pureness, basically. So those are my thoughts behind the film poster. But the magazine cover was particularly interesting, to the extent that the interaction between the characters. If you look at the film poster for the Vow, the poster actually itself has the two heads were very close together, almost in like that the iconic second just before the kiss, the tense moment, the build up, the climax to this kiss, and it's just that picture just before it happens. And I like that idea of that tense moment, but I also thought about the moment just before that, the nervous moment where it's about to happen, but it hasn't got to that extent where it's that close to happening. It's virtually happened already. It's like that moment where he's just decided he's going to make that move and she's going to respond to that move. That's the bit that I wanted. The first kiss, nervous feeling, the butterflies in the stomach. That's the feeling that I wanted to provide, and almost the perfect moment, basically, is what I really hope to achieve by showing this, basically. Overall, I was happy with the package of the film. I thought there was a certain consistency to it, definitely, but also I was happy with the magazine cover especially, and overall I think that it worked as a film package. And although I think there will be some negative feedback, constructive feedback, I hope, I believe that we've done well, and I think it's a successful romance film, all in all. So, I've been Tom Royston. My film was The Parting Gift, and yeah, well, thank you very much.